Hey, what's up, everybody? How do you do? My name is Kafa, and I got a message for you. So, your heart expanded, and forgiveness found its way in. Now, I often talk about the heart and how it's your space, and basically your ability to do anything, right? Basically, your ability to is your heart space. So, money is time, time is money, and you know the green color Tiferet on the heart on the tree of life, it all represents mana, basically money, right? So when you put all of these factors in place, your time, money, and ability is your heart space, your ability to do things. So when you have heartstrings, that's your mental mind, your consciousness, your ego grabbing on something that it won't let go. It won't allow you to do the thing that you're able to because you're holding on to something. And you can understand how that's a placeholder and something like an anchor to keep you where you are now. So your heart expanded and forgiveness found its way in. What happens when there's heartbreak? Now, this is my belief, right? You never stop loving that person. You never stop loving that person. Your heart expands, and if you could think of like you were at 100% with love with this person, and when you start to leave them, you only have 1% for yourself, 2%, and it grows to a point where you can look at the other part of that love, the love that you came from, and it's like, I can deal with it. And then eventually your heart grows and grows and grows more to that 100% that it was before. Now it's 10%. So your heart is 90% more, well, much more space available for you to do what you want to do. But that's just because your heart grew. But what makes it grow? The pain. You know how you say your heart breaks? Basically heartbreak is serious, but it had to be broken in order to be basically put back together. And this process of putting it back together makes it grow. So it's like a part of evolution itself. As your heart gets bigger, you can do more things. But the thing is, we always, well, not we, I, you know, in my experience, basically that person holds a certain energy, and this energy you have to go and claim it, and it's a part of your baggage. All baggage is basically lessons waiting to be learned, and all lessons come with a bit of knowledge, and knowledge is power. But it's not just power, is a prerequisite to your power. It's like power points. So you put these power points on your skills, on your quirks. So that's what knowledge really is. It's not just knowing it. You can know everything and not put it to any work. Like, you can know anything that you want. So the people that just throw knowledge on you and just expect the knowledge to just hold you down, yeah, but guess what? They were giving knowledge to you, to that mind of yours, that special mind of yours that said, you know what? I'm going to, instead of being pushed down by this information, I'm going to use it in a certain way where it benefits me and everybody who comes in contact with me, according to if I want them around in the first place. So there's a power that you start to get. Now the next message was, this is how I wrote it. So this is how it was written. I don't even know. Demonic energy transfer for demonic conscious lifetime. So we all say this world is ruled by not demons alone, but principalities and all these things in high places. Basically, the highest perspective, the highest negative perspective is a principality too, right? That's what that would mean, right? So think of it as this way. If you allow that consciousness to come within you and use your body to act that way, you're not only allowing it in your temple, but you're also giving that person that you're giving that energy not a choice, but a force. They have to force choose now to accept it or let it pass or transmute it, do whatever they need to. So what does that mean about the energy transfer? When somebody gives you that negative energy, you have choices to do with it. Now that energy consciousness is within you. It's not gonna go on anywhere until you let it go. So some people bottle things in, and if you can understand how you feel like you need to release, like, oh, you're going out a little bit more, you're drinking a little bit more because you need a release of that energy. But there's other ways, there's negative ways it can happen. It is like almost in the vicinity of some people who can't take it anymore, who can't hang. basically they just lash out that negative energy through potential, because all negative energy is in potential, right? It's up to what you do with it, right? So that potential, they chose to do something negative with it. Well, you can do something positive, something that builds you within. So that energy is held within us, and we have to figure out a way to release it, but not release it onto a person. Release it in a way where it's filtered and it's only pure energy for growth and manifestation and nurturing and things like that. We have that ability because we are God, right? So that next message was, your haters are the first ones to openly believe in you. So your haters are the first ones to openly believe in you. Why? Because they gotta see your greatness to be jealous of it. They gotta see it. If they think you're nothing, they will not bother you. If they know you're something, they'll try to get you before you get there, so they can steal from you, so they can get there before you, or take the power or the knowledge and take it with them. How far are they trying to get with it? But it would never actually be with them, because it originally generates from you. So it really doesn't matter. And that's why these narcissists in your life that try to hold on to you, no matter what, like, it's like till death do you part. So whoever is married in this sense, this might resonate for you. But till death do you part. Death is not just death and like I passed away, right? Death is transition. So transition to another thing. That's what the death actually is energetically. The energetic definition of it, to my knowledge, right? So your haters, they see it first. The people that surround you, your friends, sometimes they only see the best of you, and they become like that. Like, your friends don't want to judge you. They want to let you do what you need to do. But the haters have an ability to see from that grand perspective of who you are, because they're looking up at you for so long, and like, oh wow, you can do this, you can do this. If only I was you. If I was in your shoes, I would do it so much better, because you don't even know what you're doing. That's how the haters are looking. But they're looking at your power. And now, if you can resonate with it, this is why they were after you in that certain way. They needed you. They needed to use your temple. You are a tool at the end of the day, but you are a tool used by your soul first, and you have to allow these things to happen. So yeah. So the next I can't even talk. The next message was the loneliness of freedom and free to do it yourself. Now, if you were in any kind of relationship, you can understand there are moments where you're like, I just don't want to do this anymore, right? I've been there. But when you actually get that blessing, oh, you've been telling God, oh, I don't want this, this isn't for me, this isn't for me. And then when you realize you get that, God answers your call, answers your blessing, and whichever way it happened, now you got the result of it, and it leaves you with a sense of loneliness. Why? Because now you're free. So it's like a thin line between freedom and loneliness, but that's only because not believing in yourself, like, it feels like you're shaken. I don't know. It's like it's an unstable feeling. So I hope you understand where I'm going with this. You're so free now, but it's lonely because you're able to do it all yourself. So this is what the devil likes to twist our mind and say, oh, you're so lonely now. Go find anything immediately. Something that's out of time. Something that God didn't really want to ordain for you right now. Oh, and this is why God don't allow those relationships to keep going, because it's not time yet. So if you keep going after these things in your fantasy that say, oh, this is how I see it healing me, this is how I see it helping the situation, it won't happen because it's out of time. Time is the ultimate currency, but who gives us the time in the first place? The Creator, and all the names you can think of it, right? Now, this is the craziest message. It was almost going to be the title of the reading. Predators chase. That's the way it came to me. And I said, what? Predators chase? And I was like, what? And then I thought of PDF files. I was like, okay, predators chase child. And then I say, okay, you're trying to get me to think of the inner child. So how am I being predatorial and chasing what my inner child has to offer? What I know I can do. I'm in my ego trying to trap myself into doing it, something that I'm not ordained to do. So I'm trying to put myself in a trap through fantasy. It's a predatory energy, but that's within myself. Now imagine how this goes with other people that's coming after you. That was the reverse. Now this is how you do it to yourself. You are the consciousness. You are not the, well, you are all of the pieces of the mind. So that's the, basically the mind, body, soul, spirit, or you can say the mental, the spiritual, the physical, the astral, which is the soul, right? Then you can understand the place for ego, and then the place for your id. And there are so many other factors of what your mind actually is, but let me keep going. Your spirit, which is your inner child, has access to the energy that you need to get that fantasy done. But if your spirit doesn't want to give it to you, it's almost like you are chasing something that you're not. And that's what I'm trying to get to. It's a predatory energy that's either within you or around you, that's chasing you to get you to do something that you're not. That's not who you are. That's not for you. And that was a very specific message for somebody. Put it in the comments if it resonated, you know. I would like to understand what it means. Now, the last message was self-imposed limitations. And the reason why this is so crazy is because you are infinite as a soul, as the soul that you are, only believing that this body we call a temple is all we are. You're way more than that, and this is basically just we logged into Xbox, PS5, but this is the game that we playing called life. And this, your controller, what you control is your apparatus called your body, and that's the temple. So you need to understand who's actually in control, the real you, not the I that you believe in. It's crazy. So that was the messages, and we're going to go into what this is all about. This is the Zin-Finity Board. It is an elementally energetic grid that flows on a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life version. So anything that you can possibly think of is here, and it's just up to us to make it clear with these spaces that you see with the cards. And this is a tool. Eventually, when I get there, I'll have your favorite readers using this tool on an app. But, you know, pray for me to get it up to that place where you can use it, and I won't have to speak so much about what it is. So the first part of the reading is Ayin. So on the tree of life you have Ayin Soul 4, and that's above it, and that's the way I read for the cards here. And we use the tree of life in the Philosopher's Stone to get down to it. What we're going to first do, Ayin basically gives the setting of everything. So who, what, when, where, and why is going to be answered right now. Starting off with who. For who is, don't let your past hold you back, and this is the South Node. And the archetype that came up was the gem. So let me see this real quick. So it says, a relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Now let me first define lifetimes the way I got it just now. You change every day, but there are certain points of your life you understand how you had a certain type of lifestyle, and then now you have this type of lifestyle. That was a lifetime ago. So it's in between this life that you have right now, the years that you lived, but it was just long ago. So that's the karmic relationship. And it can be with people, somebody that you reconcile with after a long time of being apart, somebody or something that you stayed away from that you started to get back into. Now this is saying karmic, but not all karma is bad. You can have good karma. Your karma says that thing that you lost before, that was stolen from you before, is returned to you. And that's your karma too. That's perfect. So karma is a function in the universe, and it's functioning in your favor or against you at times. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Now, your ability within your heart space, in order to keep your space clear, and in order to keep your money, to keep your time for yourself, in order to go for that dream, these things are all in front of you. It's almost like pitfalls. The pitfall of too much partying, the pitfall of too much sex, the pitfall of too much exposure. I don't know why exposure came out. The pitfall of there's so many pitfalls, and there's off of things that we are attracted to. You move for what you are attracted to, and movement is love. So love, the love that we understand is not lumerance. I keep saying this. Lumerance is what we keep thinking that's love, but love is movement. It's the action that's happening. Love is a verb, right? Love is an action word, right? Alright, so that was who. This is what. A personal issue reaches a resolution. And basically, the Queen came up. So let's look at this. Full moon in Cancer. Meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? Now, there's family within your mind. Every perspective in your mind, you might as well see it as a certain person in your mind. So, according to me and what I've studied, you have at least 11 personalities in your mind working at the same time, wanting different things and fighting each other. So there's the family. Now I call that the court, right? And that's within the home. So there's that family, and then there's the family outside of you. But as within, so without. They represent your family outside of you, because sometimes your family wants to speak to you. In the translation, we don't actually understand what's going on in our mind. But somebody next to us couldn't be triggered or have a thought to say something to you, and you'd be like, why would you say something like that? And you'd be thinking about it for days, weeks, months, or just seconds before you understand the epiphany of why they could have said something like that. And that was literally your spirit and your soul trying to speak to you through other people. So not just that they're being negative and an asshole and things like that. They were called to say some things and do some things to you so you can understand where you stand. Right. And that's what. And this is Queen energy. Queen is a silent, still force. And it's to be protected. So what is it that you're trying to protect or you need to protect? When is look at the bigger picture, and this is the vision. Full moon in Sagittarius. Let's get it. This situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. Now, I call them open portals, right? When your chakras are open to me, that means I can speak to a certain energy in you and only that energy. Or if all of them are open, I can speak to all of your energy. What do I mean? The eyes in you. Basically, you have I am, I will, I need, I want, I desire, I know. All the eyes within you that you can possibly think of, right? These people are basically attracted to what you can say to them according to what they're accepting at that moment. So you can't force any truth on anybody. It's only what they allow. And it's not even them at the time. It's not up to you to force something on somebody. So whatever you can give, you have to understand the boundary within there, because it's not a boundary just set by them. It's a boundary set by God. So if you think that this person shouldn't be protected right now as you come at them, understand it's not their time to be and to receive that type of karma that you're trying to put on them right now. It's gonna come. You're gonna see it, because God likes to show us that we've done well. I don't know why I had to say that. God likes to show us we've done well, so it just happens that way. Where this is prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus, the mask. Now, let's get this. You will soon be able to afford the thing that you're dreaming of. Get clear on what you want and or what you value the most will help you find peace. Take some time out. Time? I don't know. The ingredient, not the actual thing. Ingredient, time. I don't know. Take some time out to pamper yourself. Start a standing order to save to a savings account. Okay, this is about taking that first step. Being clear on what it could be and the step that you can take in that grand vision, even though it's not the step that you think that you should be taking. Like that grandiose action. It doesn't have to be grandiose, because that's the fantasy of how you see it coming to play, how you see it manifesting. And where it should manifest, which is talking about this, has to do with the mask. Now, this guy is eavesdropping, right? This guy's eavesdropping. I hope you can see this. He's eavesdropping. He's looking at you from behind the corner. So You have to understand that these could be your gifts or the people that are after your gifts, just looking at you, waiting for you to do that thing so they can just come up, oh, you did a good job, let me join. But they was waiting for you to do that the whole time. Now, I said that in a negative light, but what happens if you put yourself out there and that person looks at you, oh, this is amazing, in actual good intention, this is amazing. What are you trying to do with this? Let me help you. Different ways of understanding it. It's just different perspective. But which way do you feel right now? And this is where it should happen. Where is spiritual? Where is an energy that's emotional? And emotions are in potential. They're not actually here yet. Your feelings is what we can actually see. We cannot see emotions. We can see feelings. Right? The next one is why. The most important question. Your commitment is being tested. And this is the desert. Now, understand the lack of what you need the most. Water. The desert, right? What is water? Water is basically flowing emotion. The lack of emotion. The lack of the release that you have. Let's see. First quarter moon. The answer to your question is yes. So why? Yes, but not yet. You are halfway to your goal. You still need to put in more effort. Sometimes we need to just realize how much we want something. You need to recommit to someone or something. Now, the recommission is like, okay, if you had a dream that you've been going after for so long and it feels like God has been stopping you, it feels like God, the divine, has been stopping you the whole way, and it's almost like, do you want me to not do this? Is this actually what you want me to do? No, it's just that the way to hear it, if you heard the whole trial and what you need to do to get to that place, you might not want to do it because that's a lot of work. But as you take baby steps, you get to see the little bits of work that you need to do right presently, and it's a little bit easier to just keep the present moment in your field, to keep the present moment in your vision, because the present moment is always the easiest. I keep thinking long term, and these baby steps that I take, it doesn't feel like they're doing the big dream, but they are. I just don't understand it that way. So that's one of my whys that I talked about with myself and God, So yeah, that was Ayin. The next part of the reading is Soph. Now, when we get to those perspectives of I, so everything that you say I with, we're gonna start off in the beginning, starting at the top of the tree of life, the crown chakra, down to the root, and then the next part, we're gonna bring it back up. I'm gonna tell you about that later. So these are the perspectives that are in your mind. Every one of these that I name is basically a little person moving in your mind in a place at a table, round table, the king's table, talking to these other things, and that's you. That's a part of your consciousness. The first one is I be, your being. I want, I need, I know, I will, I desire, I love, I do, and I think, right? This is holding that sack on a solar plexus, which is pressure, not fire. Pressure creates heat. Then it's I feel, and then I am. So those are the perspectives that are in your mind, and we're going to go down the line, bringing this energy from the crown down to the root. So who you truly are down to your exact manifestation, which is the temple. We're going to connect those two right now. Starting off with the sun. Let's get this real quick. This is in the place of I be, and it is on suit, and it's very, very, very on suit. It doesn't matter what card, what element comes here, but it tells me that you are aligned with your soul and the best possible life. Like, you are aligned to that life. You see the beautiful things in everything. It's like, you know how people see the comedy and everything? You see the beautiful things in everything. So let's get this sun really quickly. Joy, success, celebration, and positivity. Now, an optimistic mind is better to have than a pessimistic mind. Why? Because even your failures are easier. Your failures are so much easier. Sometimes you absolutely know you won't get it the first time. But it's like the shame that you carry for yourself for not getting it the first time. And this is why God has you in that place alone to work on these things, so it's not so shameful. I don't know why shame is coming out. You shouldn't be ashamed of what you're building your character. Like, you are building that character, that game. You are God. You are building this temple. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's an honorable action. It's an honorable process. So whoever's trying to get you to shame you on the way that you're learning right now, this is why you shouldn't talk to everybody. This is why you should leave certain things alone. I never talk about where I currently am in my knowledge or anything. I never talk about my present thoughts. You get days before, you get weeks before, you get months before the time. I don't talk about it because it's not ready for me to share. Once it's ready for me to share, because I fully understand it, that's how I can give it to somebody unbiased. Yeah. So that was the sun. I be, your being. Who you're going to be at the beginning and the end of every day. Next is I want. This started off with the Knight of Swords, and what I mean is this board is elementally energetic. So when the element fire, air, water, earth is not suited with the spot, that means that there's a blockage from the crown down to the root. We're gonna release that blockage with the cards that come up next. So first was the Knight of Swords. It should be earth or fire, and it was air, and then it came up with the Six of Pentacles. So let's get the Knight of Swords. Action, impulsiveness, and defending beliefs. I said impulsiveness. So it's like you're gung-ho as soon as you get the information, and you're not having discernment before you move on it. And it's almost like they're leading you into that pitfall that I was talking about. So this is the they leading you into a pitfall. This is the they. Point to that person. This is the they. And this is the reason why you're not getting there yet. They're holding you back. They're holding your time. Your time is hostage. Right? Then it went from there to the Six of Pentacles. And this is charity, generosity, and sharing. Now, what are you sharing and who are you sharing it with? Remember those people in your mind, your perspectives? Your perspectives are saying, okay, your perspectives are taking your personal, perspectives are taking precedence right now over what people tell you. You are starting to believe what you tell yourself, and it's rewriting the programming that was there the whole time. And understand how long, if you ever did this on a computer, defragging your computer to even see what you have that was scattered, everything in your life, just put it all in one place like a library. You can look through it and it's so organized. Now you can go after that baggage, and that's what this is talking about. Now you can go after that baggage and share the wealth within yourself, or the overflow for anybody else. Only the overflow. That's what you want. This is what you need. And this is the Two of Cups reversed. This is on suit, so it's okay. Imbalance, broken communication, and tension. Why? Because they were taking from you, and you're magnetic, you're repulsing, your spirit is repulsing them away from you. They're pushing them away from you, and you're almost holding on like, why isn't this working anymore? Why am I trying so hard right now to keep this person in my life? Because they're being pushed away by your spirit. That's why. Your spirit knows something that you don't and can't communicate with you clearly enough, but executive decisions need to be made. It's not only I that's there. You're the moving temple. You're the conscious temple dweller. That's who you think you are. But it's so many things within your mind that's operating right now. Executive decision, that person has to go. And that was the final act. Put a stamp on it. King says so. Queen says so. You understand me? That's why. They saw something you didn't. Energy speaks. Energy is truth. Well, energy speaks the truth. Next is I know. Now this is what it started off with, the High Priestess reversed. Now the High Priestess is a water card. Fire and air is supposed to be in this place over here. So High Priestess, even though it's a Major Arcana's good card, it's off. So then it ended off with the Ace of Swords. So let's get the High Priestess first. Loss of self, repression, secrets hidden, and hidden agendas. So this is an action. I call all Major Arcana cards action cards. Why? Because they get perspective energy from one place to another. It's the connection. So if something is overflowed, another perspective can ease the energy out of it. So you can understand there is an action happening between this place. It's a process and a path of energy. So we all know the 22 paths, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe you should look it up, the 22 paths. And it ended off with the Ace of Swords. This is breakthrough, clarity, and sharp mind. Now, if somebody's after you, it might as well be war that you don't know about. And this is why they're being repulsed. This is why they're being pushed away. The war that you don't know about that's going on, it's a one-sided war, but you have so much protection, they don't understand why they can't get to you. Confirmation. Next, the next energy is I will, and it started off with the Seven of Cups that was off suit, and then it went from there to the Six of Swords. So let's get the Seven of Cups. Now this is searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. I am an avid daydreamer. I daydream all the time, and I know the deficit of daydreaming. You build your dream, and your dream keeps getting built bigger, and then you start to feel so small because your dream is so big. And they always tell you to dream bigger to attract the blessing that would get you there, right? But the opposite side of that, if you're not able to hang, you can't keep it up. You know, it's like, you know what? I'm tired of being so optimistic, as we said in one of these cards before. I'm tired of being so optimistic. This is actually taking forever. Like, am I actually going to get there? So that daydreaming builds up the dream, but there's no action in between that allows you to see how you can get there. So it just makes the road longer. Just a lot of daydream. You keep building them. You keep filling in the space. You keep figuring out more things that you need to do, instead of doing the little things at first, and those things will come, and you can just challenge them as they come. It's easier that way. And went from there to the Six of Swords. This is transitioning, leaving behind, and moving on. Exactly. Moving on with what people thought that was going to destroy you actually keeps you afloat. And that's the crazy part. So imagine the energy, the negative energy that they give you is fuel. It's the worst feeling for an enemy ever. You mean to tell me I can't attack you no more because you're just going to get better? You mean to tell me? Crazy, these confirmations is popping up right now. But the enemy, what they do to you powers you. It's the worst. They gotta find a very good way for you to hurt yourself. You're the only one who can hurt yourself now. If they can't do anything to hurt you, you're the only one. It's in your control. And that's a lot of confidence that you have to claim, even though you don't feel it. This is why you're so free and lonely, right? You don't feel the power because you're alone. I keep circling around these words so you can understand, like, the conundrum with it. Like, I'm alone, but I have all the power for myself. I finally have my power back, and it's lonely. Yes, that's what it feels like in this programming. But when you understand that you are with the universe at all times, you're never lonely. You are actually God, connected to the everything. Then you start. Then that feeling of loneliness start to dissipate. So yeah, the next energy is I desire. Nine of Cups. This is satisfaction, emotional stability, and luxury. Now, what you desire is in line with your dream, and it required you to recognize what was holding you back and build a the boundary, but I can't remember the word, but it was something like boundary. Like in relationship, you have boundaries on something that somebody does. I forgot the word, but you know it. It's right there. Yeah, but the boundary is very important. You protect your dreams. You don't allow, as I said before, somewhere up here, you only allow your own thoughts to program you now. But you have your own negative thoughts. And it's the time process before you can kind of switch that energy. It takes time for you to process through all of that negativity that went on to hash out the problems, to hash out what it could have been. Yeah, you know what it could have been. But that's just protection for the fact that it can't never be the same way again in the future. Because you have that ability to see what happened in the past. Now you're protected. I'm going to move this way now with it. That's the protection with it. You already been through it, and that's the blessing. It's never going to be the same way. Never. You will never have that experience again. You already learned it. Lessons are repeated until they are learned. That's one of my pastor's old sayings. They're repeated until they're learned, but you already learned it. You learned it lifetimes ago. And sometimes you can backtrack because, you know, we're human. Alright. The next energy was one of those first ones that are really were really off. It started off with the Empress. It should be air. And then went from the Empress to the Five of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and then it finished off with Three of Swords reversed. So let's get these real quick. The Empress. Beauty, fertility, nurturing, luxury, and creativity. So that luxury word came out again. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? What you find beautiful now. This is why they don't have that same power over you. You do not find them the same beautiful because you got the goggles on now. You can see through it. It's like 3D to this. Oh, I see exactly what happened. The energy that came out. It's 3D to you now. 4K. You see it. So it's just like, when I didn't see this, I loved every piece of you. But now as I see it, is no way I could. So they can't understand how you can switch your perspective like that. No way you could. I don't have that heartstring attached. You don't have that heartstring attached to me anymore as the enemy, and that's why they can't hold you back anymore. This is the reason for all of that deception. That deception, it needed to happen for it to click. Sometimes, if the spirit can't get the job done, coincidence has to. Next card is the Five of Cups. Loss, grief, and disappointment. So, right, the loss of the fake beautiful things, which is a great thing, but you feel lonely, abandoned. Why? Because now nobody is holding you back. The thing that you thought needed to be there is what you feel abandoned from. But as you reprogram your own mind, you learn that you got it yourself. It went from there to the Eight of Wands. And this is rapid action, movement, quick decisions. Now, fire and air support each other, but quick decisions, as I said before, you need to really think before you do these things. Try to only have reactions, because now you understand that these reactions are energy coming out of you. Regardless, a reaction is an action, right? And all of your actions take from you. Regardless, that's just what happens. And if somebody has you doing actions taken from you, fueling them up and not reciprocating, that's the issue right there. All reciprocation is like, it compounds over each other. So as long as you're getting something back, the universe gonna fill in that gap, right? So we're from there to the King of Pentacles. Abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Now, the abundance of it is the abundance of false manifestations and things that were there for you to use. So someone's like, use this, use this, use this. But that sword is broken. This shield has a crack in it. This arrow, this bow is kind of chipped. This bowstring is loose. What am I supposed to do with these things that you say I should get? Now you have the discernment to see and to study and look at it. Like, you're searching, you're scanning, like, before you make the decisions. And you're protecting yourself, which makes it easier for the universe to protect you in the future. Or at least your projection of what it could be. And then it ended off with the Three of Swords reversed. This is recovery, forgiveness, and moving on. Now, the moving on energy and the moving on energy came out right here within your will and what you love. And this is the Hermit energy all over it. The Hermit energy is all over this. So, moving with your own light, believing in yourself, grants you the space to do what you already dreamed of doing. The dream is lived. It's not completed. It's lived, right? We have milestones that are completed. The dream is like eternal. We keep coming back here because of the dream that we have in our soul. At least that's what I feel. The next energy is I do or I think. And this energy is onsu, so we're good with the Temperance. So let's get this. Middle path, patience, and finding meaning. Now, balance is actually easy in acceptance and attraction. So if you accept what you need to go through and you attract the things that are for you, like to go through, like those two things are aligned, that's being on the divine path. The only time it's shaky is when our ego takes control, because the divine path is magnetic. It's like a magnetic rail. You understand that you lose energy to that rail, if you can follow me. The rail is electromagnetic. Without the electro, your consciousness, your ego, you won't be able to stick on track. So that's where it gets shaky. But that's just the divine path of it. I forgot why I went into that. Oh, Temperance, what you do and what you think. It's because the pressure to do and the pressure to think. the pressure not to do and the pressure not to think. The pressure not to think are those old thoughts that can bring you back to the old programming. The pressure not to do is the old actions, those old habits and patterns and things that you would say and things like that that kept you where you were in a stagnant position, but at peace, right? Peace is just balanced ground, but there's no growth. You still can have stagnation in peace. The next energy that was off is your feelings. I feel. And it started off with the Queen of Swords, and then went from the Queen of Swords to the Lovers, right? That's more air energy. Then the Star, more arcanas, right? And then the Nine of Pentacles reversed. The Four of Swords reversed. Temperance card again, right? So reflection, and then it ended off with the Judgment. So let's get this really quickly. A lot of Major Arcana cards came in here. So there's a lot of things that were happening to you to trigger you. These were the triggers, but you're so gifted and you're so protected and you have so much grace with God right now because God saw your ambition and your effort. It's not in vain. When you have that kind of protection, you can walk with a certain confidence. So just understand, God really adores what you've done. So Queen of Swords. Complexity, perceptive, and clear-mindedness. Now, this is the clear-mindedness. This is the absence of feelings because you don't want to be triggered, but you're not going to respond either. So there's a response that was needed from you, and you chose to sit there for some reason. I don't know why this is necessary. And it's almost like an action was needed from that person, and you waited, and you waited, and you waited for them to do it. And then you're forced to sit here in a little bit of an angry mode, unemotional, because they won't allow you access further. And that's where that heartstring was at play. They kept you anchored to the past, not in the present time, in the past, and went from there to the Lovers. And this is just kind of confirmation, so let's get it. Partnerships, union, and duality. The greatest partnership is friendship. That's the highest one. So your friends are the ones that you can kind of relay secrets to. What are secrets? Your innermost thoughts. That it could be about your dream, it could be about something that you're going through, but things that can shake you. Those are your friends. You can tell somebody something to your friends, information that would shake you, and they would keep her protected. So yeah, it's something about that friendship. Then it went from there to the Star, and this is hope, faith, and rejuvenation. What are you rejuvenating? You're trying to bring it back to what used to work because it was less lonely. Because it worked before, because you have a logical mind that says, well, this thing works, I just have to do this way. If I go back to this person, now all I have to do is make sure that they do this in order for me to be okay. No. How can you expect something that perfect to happen? This world is not perfect. And went from there to the Nine of Pentacles. Fruits of labor, reckless spending, and rewards. Now, Earth supports water. Why? Because if you're over emotional, the manifestations can ground you. Using your body, working out and doing things with your body, it kind of keeps you out of your emotions because you're getting rid of energy and releasing it as you act out just your regular duties or whatever your habits are. It's still a release of a sort. So you have an abundance of releases available to you in the right manner. So that's what it's coming to. And went from there to the Four of Swords reverse. And this is restlessness, burnt out, and stress. Why do you have to rest? Because rest is, how death is not just of the body. Rest is not just of the body either. Your mind is at rest. You've gotten answers recently, or you are now getting answers, and it's causing your mind to see the end of things. And once that's happening, you can understand how your soul, your spirit is pushing you towards that outcome. That's why you can finally understand what your spirit has been saying the whole time, and you can't unhear it. So that's why your spirit is bugging you. That's why you're antsy and anxious. And the Temperance card came out again to understand is what you're doing and thinking that's causing these emotions to be so messy. It's causing you to attract the people that just try to trigger you for no reason. It's like, what is it? Do I have an X on my head or something? Like, what is this? Do I have a target on my back? Yes, you do. Why? Because at every moment that the negativity, the demiurge in this world can get you to stop, which is take your time, they will. And you might think it's just something I do every Wednesday that just, is something for me. Okay. The next energy that completed it was judgment. Reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Now, judgment is, you can understand, it's always talked about the flood right here. But it's a flood of what? That's a release to me. What is being released? What was being judged? What has been dismantled mentally to the point where you understand the why it's happening. You're at the point of, I know why this happened. So it doesn't affect me so much because I understood the intention behind it. Even though it was a negative action, people do negative actions out of honest intentions too. It's just how you perceive it. So the next energy is I am. So everybody always hears I am great, I am lovely, and all this other stuff. That's just one chakra you're talking to. And that's only your manifestations. Well, only at the bottom of the scale. So when it started at the Eight of Swords, let's start off with this. Imprisonment, entrapment, and self-victimization. Yes, everything that you have, you can't use because you believe that you aren't capable. Right? And that's the reason why this heart space is so crazy. You thought you were not capable. You thought you could not do. And that was a lie that you told yourself. Well, a lie that was told to you, you believed, and now you told yourself because that person is not in your life anymore to keep you to believe that. That's something that you do yourself. I'm talking to myself. So, the Fool. Next up, let's see. Innocence, new beginnings, wonder, and foolishness. Now, this is air energy in a place of where it should be earth. You cannot build with thoughts alone. You cannot build with thoughts alone, and that's what makes it foolish. You're like, okay, I need something that does this magically and go. Or this is what needs to happen, and I know what needs to happen, God, so why you're not making it happen? God is not the temple. You are. The next energy is the Ten of Wands. And this is accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. What burdens you? All that foolishness, all the thoughts that you had, the daydreaming. That's a burden at this point. Because actions get you to that place of that dream. And actions get you there. And it feels like, I just mentioned it. It feels like you got to carry so much to get you to that place that you dream. But that's only your ego trying to get there by itself logically. Your ego, or you are not understanding that the spirit has something to offer you, and it's almost like you don't have to do half of the effort. You don't have to do much of any of the effort when you really understand what spirit is asking you to do. It's crazy. And went from there to the Nine of Swords reverse. Hope, reaching out, and despair. Now, despair is a painful, stuck energy. You are absolutely not going anywhere. Why? You are absolutely not doing anything with the things that you have. Why? It's a mental thing. You don't believe. You did not logically see it panning out for you. And that's just the mind. You have to go with the unknown because that's where God operates, and things that you cannot see. There's something called the observer effect, and I believe it has so much precedence to where God can work in your life. Out of sight, out of mind. If it's out of your mind, that's in God's realm, in the spirit's realm, where they can do something with it. You know how you just take your attention off of something? You know what? This is never going to happen. You know what? This water's never going to boil you. And then they say you take your attention off of it, you go through one meme, and that water's boil you. But you took your attention off of it. God worked in the background. But I just want to get that analogy real quick. And went from there to the Ten of Cups. There's a lot of tens on this board. Inner happiness, fulfillment, and dreams coming true. Exactly. What will happen? This is a process that supports judgment. The dreams coming true after you understand what it really was. Because now you can move on it. You have the boundaries. Oh, it was boundaries, not barrier. I got it. And then it went from there to the Hangman reverse. This is like standing on business to me right now. Stalling, needing sacrifice. Well, stalling, needless sacrifice, and fear of sacrifice. Alright. What do you think you're sacrificing if it's not for you anyway? If God has to take something from you to put something back in, what is the fear? What is it? Where is it rooted in? Where is the fear rooted in? Because this is the place of fear. You don't want certain things to change, but change is necessary in order for you to get to your dreams anyway. So the fear of change is literally stopping your dream from coming true. That's everybody. Me, everybody. The fear of change. And then we're from there to the Two of Cups. This is unity, partnership, and connection. And that's still that lovers energy that came out over here. Right? Unity, partnership, and connection. And basically, when you start to balance emotions, that you find that peace. This is about finding that peace within yourself. Because I don't think this is about another person right now. Because as within, so without, as I said before. So it has to reflect inwards first. It always starts from within. A lot of the blessings and the coincidences come from without. But it's as you're ready for those blessings to come in from within. It's like a double. When you're ready, it just comes straight towards you. And it ended off with the Page of Pentacles. That's the last card. So let's see. Ambition, desire, and diligence. Now, diligence is very important because it's the thing that's going to get you to keep going. That's what you need to understand. The diligence of it. Even though it seems like the small step, keep going. Because every step leads you, right? It's just the logic in it. If I'm talking to your logical mind, it doesn't matter which way you step forward, step further towards your dream. You're gonna get there. Slow and steady wins the race. Why? Because it doesn't matter. You're on divine time. Those things will come to you when it's ready. You just gotta be ready for it. So the next part of the reading is or. And this is the part of the reading where we go over everything that we talked about, but we get to talk about how. And that's one of the most important things too, because even if you have all the answers, the how might still be eluding you. So this is what we went through so far. Who, what, when, where, why. I be, I want, I need, I know, I will, I desire, I love, I do and I think, I feel, and I am. Now we talk about how you can use it. How, right? The experimentation. So let's start off with this real quick. Trust. That's experimentation. Jealousy. That's expression. Talisman. That's integration. Divinity, that's transcendence. And then we have earth at ascendance, or how you evolve, right? So now the same goes. These are animal archetypes now, or animal spirit cards. The cobra on trust, the raccoon on jealousy, we have the lamb on talisman, we have the hummingbird on divinity, and lastly, we have the firefly on earth. So you understand, the firefly shines at night when there's the most cover. But the firefly can be seen. And it's almost like, you know how we catch fireflies? Yeah, that's the same way the enemy sees us. We are lighthouses, and we keep them safe. This is why they try to stay around us all the time. This is why they try to siphon off of us all the time. They're trying to keep safe. They need energy in order to live. So they attack people, and they just find ways to seep off of people. They need reactions, not responses, and they look and search for these reactions. It's almost like this person needed a win today, and they chose to do that dumb thing to get that win. So let's talk about this experimentation real quick. Trust. Step into the unknown. All may not be revealed at this time. Trust in unseen forces. Meditate on this to let go of all attachments or possibilities. Free yourself from dharma and increase your trust in guides in the universe. So this is the place of fear, and then God is asking you to have trust. But the cobra is here. You can understand that snake charmers. Now, Kundalini snake. That's what this is talking about. You gotta trust in the Christ consciousness within you. You have to trust in that consciousness that's going to get it done, which is basically you're building yourself. You have to trust in that. And as I said before, the prey that you have is this cobra. You know how you need to catch a cobra? You know what you need to do in order to catch a snake? You need to know all the movements. It's going to get you. You can't grab it too far away from the head. It's going to bite you. You can't grab it on the mouth. It'll bite you through its mouth. just to get you. So it's very tricky to work with. Tricky energy, but the thing is, that's the people that are trying to get you. They gotta work like that with you to try to get you. It's not happening no more because you have trust in yourself now. That's what you can experiment with. What you can express is jealousy. Now, jealousy is not always bad. Jealousy is an indicator of what you might want. Your spirit is literally telling you, this is my desire. You literally, okay, you have the light, which is the consciousness, and you have the spirit, which is in the darkness. So your shadow, which is also in the darkness, your shadow's the inner child, is telling you that I desire this, right? Clearly. Just because that person has it doesn't mean that they shouldn't, and doesn't mean that they aren't worthy of it just because you now decide that you want it, right? That person was built to have that and maintain it for a certain period of time just for you to see it. What happens if you was just meant to see that? Instead of being jealous of it, find ways you can get that same experience, but not stealing. But these raccoons in your life, you know how raccoons be all in the ceilings and everything. They be all over the place. Some of the smartest creatures on the land. It's crazy. And a coon is going to put on any mask just to be a part. Yeah. That's that jealous energy. People who are putting on masks just to be a part of you, around you, just to siphon off of your expressions, your emotions, your feelings. They need that energy. Next up is the talisman in integration, and it represented by the lamb. You know, the Lamb of God. Lambs need to be protected. Lambs are sacrificed. All of this, but the lamb is very important when it comes to the talisman. Let me get it. Well, first off, let me get jealousy because I forgot that one. Sorry. It's the evil eye naturally, but envy, jealousy, and bad vibes. This card comes as a warning that all is not as it seems, or maybe it is. There may be some jealousy being presented or projected to you at this time. Fear not. This is a warning here to provide you with enough distance to take the necessary action to protect your heart, mind, and energy. So, the projection. What I said in my last reading was there's no such thing as time, but we do have what we project the next event to be, the next series of events to be. We only have that thought of what it could be according to what our current data is. So it's not that it's time, it's a projection of what we think it could be, right? We have a cycle of time on this earth, but it's really just, it's always there. It's always infinite. It's never going to go away, never going to do anything. It's just going to be here, right? I don't know why that was important for somebody, but the next energy was talisman. Let me get it. The talisman represents new doors opening for you now. The new pathways are present. Now, okay, there's something that you do that you've manifested, that you have now shown the world in whichever minute way that you did, and they're attacking you. See, confirmation. They're attacking you every time you show it, and you don't know why. The reason why is because of this. Every time you do a positive action, there's a negative action that happens. There's a negative essence there. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you do a positive thing, there's a negative thing trying to get you to go back to zero, right? But you keep it up. And as you grow, you claim that space because it doesn't affect you anymore. You out experienced it. That's level 1. Now you go to level 2. You get bigger. So I hope you're gonna understand what I meant by that. But these talismans motivate you. So it's almost like your muse. Find these muses that you have and protect them. Don't let anybody come at it and it actually affect you. This is your beauty, your divinity. So let's get divinity real quick. This is what you can transcend, how you level up. This leveling up and evolving as per Pokemon. It's the same difference. You level up with divinity. And this is the hummingbird. You are divine, and this message comes with a warning and a blessing. Drawing this card invites you to proceed with love over fear. Now, the hummingbird is a very cautious creature. And you see how fast they flap their wings. And it's almost like it's just vibrating. You don't even see their wings, right? So they don't even see how you're actually flying. You're just doing it. You're hovering around this whole situation, but using the same abilities that they can. Why are you so fitted for this environment and they're not? It's just because God created you a certain way. That's it. God created you a certain way in your divinity, so level up in your own effort, with your own facilities, relying on yourself. Rock bottom is the face of self. So we all running away from rock bottom. God is trying to get to show us ourselves and rely on it. Therefore, you don't fall anymore. You just build on it, right? That was divinity. That was transcendence. How you level up. The next energy and the last energy of the reading is earth in the place of ascendance. How you ascend is earth energy. So let's get it. The tangible world and all that is physical in nature, what you can feel and touch, invite you to participate in enjoying it. Inviting earth energy into your current situation will bring more stability at this time. What is earth energy? So there's feminine physical and masculine physical. Two different types of physical. You can kind of understand where I'm going with this. Now, there are things that you kind of farm, and then there are things that you manufacture, right? For a certain thing. What you farm, people aura farm, same difference. There are certain things that you do that you're looking for a certain reaction. Now, the reaction that you should be looking for is what's manifested, not what's said, really. Not the people that's just going to say stuff to try to like, oh, this is my opinion. Not the opinion throwers, not the zombies, but the manifestation behind it. And the hummingbird was here and the firefly was here. And you can understand that these people see it. They want to stop you from evolving. But every time you go after that evolution journey, you start to light up from within, causing the enemy to come to you. Because every positive action has every negative, I can't even remember it. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So that's in this world now. The people who do not try to build have no negativity in their life. The people who try to build have who don't try at all. The people who are just sitting there and is just happy with all the chaos, they do not experience the same negativity that we do. It's through ignorance. They're protected with that. It's like they don't even see it. Because if they saw it, they'll go crazy and probably, But you see it. You're strong enough to be here. And this is why you know now. So, fly. Bruno Mars. Alright. So that was the end of the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love if you would like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Because I'm creating this board. This is the Zin-Finity Board. It's going to be an app for all readers. And the people who love readings in itself. This is going to be the best thing that the spiritual community ever seen in the next 100 years. Mark my words. It is basically everything that you are. And I want to expose it in the best way possible. So, like I said, it'll help out greatly just to share a like. Because this algorithm, you know how it works. If you like this message and you would love your favorite reader to kind of see this information and see if they would actually take part in it, ask them to reach out or shout them out, and we will see where we can go from there. This is going to be a community effort, a combined effort. It's not just going to be me by myself. I'm a spiritual tool maker, a spiritual engineer, and an alchemist energetically, right? I know how to move this stuff, and this is the first tool I created to move the energy in the mind and to see how it operates and processes. So with all that being said, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I'm Kafa. Peace.